I'm gonna mute myself. Okay. Figure this. Moms, we are figuring this out. Give us 1 second. Okay, we got action. Look, I guess the overlay totally blanks us out. Okay, we got action. Look, I guess the overlay. Okay, but I did have to close out Facebook. Okay, so can you see me, Tangela?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you look cute.
Hey, I was gonna say the same. I like your hair like that.
You do? Thank you. I'm just growing it out. And since I'm living on the couch, this seems to be the easiest way to go.
Right? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. We're in
Good.
week 3 of fractured ankle and couch bound. But we're here.
Right.
It's been quite a day, but we remain committed to working moms. Moms,
Right.
if you're with us, please comment. Please say happy Tuesday. Tell me something good. We are in the Moms Winning Group. This is the HR Corner for Moms. February's topic is how to invest in yourself. So it'll be under 30 minutes. Some tips, tools, sharing best practices, resources, all that good stuff. Um, how are you doing first?
I'm doing pretty good. And this is actually a really good topic because this is my birthday month. This is our birthday month.
It
Um,
is our birthday month.
and I'm celebrating my birthday the last week of the month. And one of the things that we're doing is a vision board, which I know we didn't get there yet, but that's one of the things I want to talk about.
I like that. I like vision boards. They mean a lot to me, but I just want to acknowledge that you're giving me like level up vibes right now. I don't know what it is. Is it the Peloton? I don't know. I don't know. Is it? Are you excited for your birthday?
I am. I mean, we're older, so each year, honestly, this year came past really fast. But as I get older, I feel like I'm learning more. And again, this investing in yourself is almost like a new concept as I've gotten older, and circles are getting more knowledge, and yeah, so I'm excited.
Very good. Okay, so first and foremost, what does invest in yourself mean to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So look, right now, investing in myself means spending my time the right way. And I'm trying to figure out what that means, right? Because we talked about burnout the last time, we talked about goal setting the last time. And a lot of that stuff, like visualizing what I want for my life, is a part of me investing in myself and trying to figure that out. Yeah. So the time that I spend, um, with me, Tangela, and the time that I spend with my family has gotten much more important to me. So yeah, that's a part of investing in myself. And then there's those other tangible things, right, that have less to do with me reflecting about how I've been wasting my time up to this point. And I can talk about those things too if that makes sense. But I want to hear what you think too.
Yeah, I was thinking about this all day today, and I completely agree. And it really is on my heart to encourage everybody to understand you have this unlimited resource called time. aka your energy. And it's really important. And because it is a limited resource, it's even more important to put it where it belongs. And I would venture to say, if you are a working mom like us, you need to prioritize yourself. Investing in yourself is, simply put, making sure that for everything you are giving away, you are also pouring it back into yourself, if not double time. And for me, I had to learn this the hard way and the long way. And we're trying to do that shortcut math today. We're trying to do that new math that our kids are learning in school now, that are like shortcuts on how to do this. So invest in yourself, yes, so that at the end of the day, when I lay down, put my head on the pillow, I am saying, yep, I only had a certain amount of hours today, and I placed them all in areas that are highly valued to me. Because you know what causes disruption or dissatisfaction or dis-ease is when you are constantly living a life that is not yours. It's out of alignment. So how do we get it back aligned? Back to you, Tangela.
So look, I could go all the way there, right? But I want to pause because we are the HR Moms Corner. So I want to pull it into, how it may relate to the workplace. So let's go there first and then come back to where I started and then kind of pulled you with me. So when I think about investing in yourself from a workplace perspective, I think about like those very, fundamental things when you think about training and asking for training, going to conferences. So I'll give you an example for myself. I'm an HR practitioner. I'm certified. I have several certifications, right? Like SHRM. I'm a senior certified HR business partner. I'm certified to coach for performance. I've recently become an authorized partner for DISC. Like those are all things that, my employer covers it. DISC, I'm covering on my own. Sometimes you'll be able to get your employer to cover it for you. But at the end of the day, when you get these certifications or you attend conferences, you build your network, those are all things that help you to invest in yourself. And then when I think about me in particular, right, I work for an asset management firm, but at the same time, I own Talent Ready. So that's like a twofold thing. Like building my skill set helps me to be more of an asset to my clients and more of an asset to the firm that I currently work for. So that is a, tangible way to invest in yourself.
I love that. So basically it's adding levels to your ish, essentially. I'm gonna stop being silly today because it was been a stressful day. But basically, understanding like, hey, if there are ways that I can get certification or more skill sets or do a course and get certified, that's investing in yourself on the job, because you end up being able to produce more, offer more, lead more, give more.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
The biggest thing that I gained from those, like going to those courses, similar to like if you do like an executive, what is it, like your executive graduate program, executive leadership programs. Of course, you get the letters or you get the degree or whatever it might be, but you also connect with adult learners, which I think is really different from when you're like an undergrad or like high school and things like that. Adult learners are very dedicated to their craft. So they tend to be people who are already investing in themselves. They're already probably leaders in their space. And then you instantly are a part of this cohort with similar interests, et cetera. So I think that's the other thing. And well, I guess this was the case before when it was in person as well. I was going to say in the virtual environment, you get to connect from people all over the place. But even before we started to do virtual everything in person, there were people coming in from all over the world to kind of meet. So that's like a really huge benefit of going to those types of trainings. As Matthias comes along with his dino sounds.
He's like, invest in me right now and invest in my
I'm hungry.
Ooh,
Say hi.
Hello.
Say bye.
Bye.
Go tell daddy.
He's getting big.
I already told Daddy.
So investing in yourself, I'm going to do a quick tangent. So there are ways to invest at work, right? Basically, adding credentials, signing up for programs, looking for ways to learn. I would say if things aren't offered to you right out the gate, ask for your from your managers for support or ways that you can increase your credentials or what you offer at work. I would also do some research yourself and then ask away. And the worst that they can say is no, but at least you've asked. And sometimes I've even done stuff where I've paid for my own stuff on the side because I knew my organization wouldn't fund it. But I did that just in general because it meant a lot to me. So hopefully we live work in a better environment than we did 20 years ago, where employers are definitely offering and supportive of people deepening their skills, even if it isn't like directly related to your job. They understand that just encouraging you, motivating you to be learning in general is actually quite beneficial to the organization.
Yep, I totally agree with that. So, other ways to invest in yourself. So we chatted right before the session, and some of the topics that came up were things like setting goals, which I briefly talked about, and we talked about in a full session last time, but also like your mental and physical health. And I think that's a huge one, because I have a circle of what I consider to be very strong individuals. And when I say strong, I mean that in a great way, but I also mean that in a way that can be, tough on you. And, as a person that's a leader of a family, as a mother, like a lot of times we are strong, but it can be difficult. So keeping our physical health up is very important. At the beginning of this year, I started to use Peloton, which I've told you about, which has been like a game changer for me because it's like this social aspect to it where it encourages me to actually work out. I wasn't looking to lose weight, but I was kind of looking to lose weight. But the energy level is totally different. But when you work out on a regular basis.
Yes, it's that consistency. It's that daily habit that really compounds, right? It makes a difference. You wake up 30 days later and you're like, what just happened?
Exactly. I'm always telling my friends, like when I work out in the morning, because I'm a very early bird, so I wake up at 4:30 and then I'll work out at 5:30. But I feel like I can take on the world. Like after my workout, I'm like face red, dripping sweat. And then there's a certain energy that comes with that it's hard, but at the same time, like you're ready for the day. So I would say take out that time. The other pieces that come for me with that workout is prayer. Sometimes it's meditation. And it's just quiet time because everybody's still down. Nobody's up at 4:30, 5:30. So I get to kind of like do what I need to do to get prepped for the day. I get to take my time in the shower, get to take my time, make sure my edges are laid, like that kind of stuff you get to kind of do. So I think that's important to invest in yourself.
100% agree. I am a morning exerciser and it is difficult for me not to be doing this right now because there is something to be said for what happens exactly the first thing that you do in the morning. It is so easy for your mind to get chaotic right away because you're going to look on your phone, you're going to think about your day. But when you set your intention first, I meditate before I even get out of bed. So I'll like just put in my headphones and set my app and I will just listen and go in and create this muscle of focusing my attention on something. And then I'll get started on my day. When I tell you that is a game changer, it is a game changer. And then exercise as well. Again, you're setting your intention. Last year, I think I was saying this on my social media platform mostly, but just saying, when you take care of yourself right away in the day, for me, and I know for many other moms, that resentment later on that sometimes comes up in your conversations with your kids is a little bit lighter, right? Because most of my frustration at the end of the day is like, man, now I got to do this, that, and the other, and I don't have time for myself. And I said, well, Cynthia, challenge yourself to invest in you right away. Give yourself an hour, give yourself an hour and a half. Even if you have to wake up earlier, do you right away and then you can do everybody else, and really shift that. Shift, because the time doesn't come back. We must claim it.
Yep, in total agreement. So you mentioned meditation. Do you use any specific apps for your meditation?
Yeah, I use Mindspace, and I also use Chopra.
Chopra.
Or I'm
Okay.
sorry, Headspace and Chopra. Chopra I got into because of Oprah, because everybody knows I love Oprah.
Uh-huh.
But so she and Chopra,
Deepak.
Yep, Chopra, used to do meditations together. And they had full programs that I purchased, and they would be about like 20, 25 minutes a day. And I really
Okay.
worked myself up to that. But now they don't do that so much anymore, but you can find them in the library. But there's this whole Chopra app now, and he has his own, and it's all very good. And I like that. So that's how I start my day.
Okay. No, that's
If
cool.
I'm investing in myself, right. And I haven't been as of late. And so I committed to myself this week that I'm going to get back on track.
Good. Tomorrow's a new day. I had done a workout every day for the month of January. The 26th or the 27th, I didn't do a workout. And then for the following 4 days, I didn't work out. It was, anyway, I don't,
Isn't it crazy?
yeah.
I
It
love
was completely different.
I love that you're in this world now where it's like the daily workouts. You realize it really is this momentum. It's this engine working.
Yep.
This car
Yes.
driving.
Yep.
So we talked about meditation. We talked about prayer. We talked about exercise. These are all ways that you can invest in yourself. It's going to amplify your life personally, but also professionally, and how you show up in the office.
Yeah, no, in the office and for your kids. We talked about the physical exercise, and I think that has a huge impact on your mental state. I don't know how many people are like seeing a counselor, but that is something I think is really important as far as investment, because, you know, if your healthcare doesn't cover it, then you'll need to pay for it. And I think it's absolutely worth it to invest that money into seeing a professional. A lot of times, like I mentioned, the strong circle, like everyone thinks they got it covered. My favorite word is I'm fine. I got it. And I have a support group where people are always asking me, what can I do? Do you need anything? And I'm typically the person to say, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. So taking that time, again, it's an individual exercise. For families, it could be a group exercise. Tapping into your friends for referrals, recommendations on counselors, counseling groups, I highly recommend.
Ooh, I love this. I love this topic. Every time, especially during COVID, my therapy appointment would come up and I'd be like, oh no, I got so much going on. I can't do this. And then I realized, wait, you can't do this for yourself. Like you need this. So you're saying no to yourself, but you will help every child in your house with their 3 meltdowns today, but you will not help yourself. So once you realize like you are literally saying no to you, it changes the game a little bit. I was like, no, I need to say yes to myself more. I need to really prioritize myself. And so I kept all my therapy appointments, and same thing with going to the chiropractor or getting a massage, whatever was built into my self-care routine. I was like, remember, as busy as you get, this is really about you, prioritizing you. Get to you first and then get to everybody else.
You said something about you're helping with all these meltdowns in your house, but you're saying no to you. So that just made me think, recognizing that you are having a meltdown is also a part of that, right? Because you might not even feel like you're having a meltdown. You might think you're reprimanding the kids, or, you know, you're putting discipline into your household or whatever it is. Or, if you're getting overwhelmed by work or other aspects, the combination of work and home, etc., and you're like breathing heavily, you're probably having an anxiety attack, but you don't even realize it. Like, those are the things to pay attention to. So one of the things that were on our list earlier was breaking bad habits. So for me, this year, actually the end of last year, I started to post things around taming my tongue. And that turned into meditating. And then that turned into reading more books. Like Deepak came up on my list a couple of times. One of his book, well, no, it's the same publisher, The Four Agreements. You probably heard of that. And then the Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. Those are all like books that I've started to, well, at the end of the year, last year, started to read. And it calls attention to everything that you do as an individual person that may be out of habit, but it's really not that good for you. So paying attention to that and starting to break some of those cycles is super important. And I think all of the things that we've just talked about, exercising, the seeing the therapist, paying attention, getting some time by yourself helps you to not only recognize it, but feel odd when some of that stuff comes up because it breaks the peace in your space.
This is so exciting. I love when things just line up. I am reading this book and I'm listening to this book actually. I love when things kind of just align. So the book is called The 13 Habits of Mentally Strong Women. I'm sorry, the 13 things mentally strong women don't do. And then there is a 13 things that mentally strong women do, right? Don't say that, the last part too fast. But basically, what I loved about this book as I was reading it, I was like, you know what? That's clutch. Because how many times have I read something about here are the 5 things, here are the 7 things, here's the 10 things that you have to do to be da 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 da, right? Oh, okay. So you gave me the recipe. Cool. But did somebody tell me to like make sure I had a gas stove, or did somebody tell me to make sure I was cooking with oil, like or rather like stop doing some things that are preventing you from succeeding with this list, right? So we can exercise every day, but if you eat that Big Mac every day as well, isn't that just taking, counterproductive, right? And so to me, the book was so clutch because it was highlighting the things that we shouldn't be doing, like comparison. I can't think of any other one off the top of my head, but perfectionism. So she was going through the list and I was like, interesting. So the old school athlete came back and I was just like, right, you can have the play and know what to do, but if you don't stop doing the things you shouldn't be doing, you are actually self-sabotaging.
I feel like some of that stuff starts to come naturally because, like, I talked about the exercising, but that also came with changing my eating habits, which, I'm not a vegetarian, but meat is starting to like feel a little odd to me. Like when I look at certain pieces of it, not trying to plug any type of thing that you should be eating or not, but just as my habits are changing, like everything is changing. Anyway, so continuing with breaking bad habits, when I think about procrastination, and the other thing that we had on the list, you actually put this on the list, was declutter. So like getting your space clear, all of that stuff contributes to, just having order, being able to get to things on, I don't want to say on time, but in an effective way. So anyway.
Yes, I'm a firm believer that how your house is organized has an effect on your energy. And my best friend will attest to this because she has let me into her house. There's been several other people who have let me into their house too to organize it because
Yeah.
I really feel it holds stress, it holds chaos, but if you minimize and organize, you then can feel that same energy in your life. All of a sudden, like I have felt the shifts at times when I got rid of stuff.
Yep.
And I'm able to find things flow a lot better. Like I'm not searching for things in my closet. It's here are your outfits, they're already laid out. It just makes everything, the energy go a lot quicker. So investing in yourself is part of this by investing in your property, your the things that you own, and making sure it flows, it's organized, it gives you peace.
Yeah. So this one may not be, like everyone may not be able to do it, but outsourcing is something that I think is important as well. So like I used to get overwhelmed with doing the laundry. I mean, it would take up a full day, possibly like a full weekend. and I've started to outsource my laundry. I know I have friends who outsource like their housekeeping and things like that. So thinking about ways that you can not only get organized, but also figuring out a way to save time by getting other people to do it. If you're in a position to do that.
Absolutely. I have, especially in New York too. Definitely outsourcing your laundry is more of a thing than it is here in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
But I know people to do it here. Also, I ended up getting a tutor for one of my daughters because I was just
Mhm.
like, I could probably sit down and figure all this out with you, but I
Right.
feel like our relationship affects the way you respond to me when I try to correct you on something. And so I was just like, I need to just give it to somebody else and pay $15 an hour, have somebody else do it. Whatever is gonna um, give you some more peace, try
Yeah.
it, do it. What's the other thing that we could outsource? House cleaning. I know a lot of people who do that. I haven't gotten there yet, but I know a lot of people that do
Neither.
that because it just gives them peace of mind, and it probably about 3 hours back on a Saturday.
Yep, absolutely. So when you talked about shifting the energy, I have read an article way back when, I don't know when, but it talked about putting lemons in the corners of your house and how the energy in the corners of your home, it actually gets stored there. So when you like clear it out, and I don't know if how many people do smudging, but I typically do smudge with sage in my house after cleaning. All of those things help. I mean, yeah, we I know we're strapped for time, but we didn't talk about this yet. Journaling. I think that's another way to invest in yourself. And it kind of is along those same lines of like taking a moment of peace. For me in particular, I go back to my journals. I'm inconsistently consistent, if that makes sense. So I will journal for like a month or journal for like a week, skip 18 months, come back. But I have so many journals and just go back and I'm like, oh wow, look. And then you can look at if you write your goals down, and this is when manifesting comes into play, right? Because when you write things down, it really does happen. You like focus on it, sometimes not consciously, and it happens. And then sometimes you may put it down, but you still got that seed in your heart, and then you move on it. Maybe not in that same year, but maybe the following year. So, journaling, I am a huge fan of journaling. I think that's a way to invest in yourself because it keeps you on track, going back to visualizing, aligning, and then executing, which is what we talked about last time. You set those goals when you have an opportunity to journal. And then also that like just getting your emotions out around the things that are going on in your life.
Okay, I had to make sure I spelled journaling right before I posted it. Uh, no, okay. So what I mean, essentially, this is almost stuff like we do such a great job of making sure everyone else in our family and household is taken care of. Am I right? Like, kids won't miss a dentist appointment.
Right.
We'll make sure we do checking on their grades and report cards. We'll make sure they finish their homework. The point is, are you doing that for you? What your homework could be your journaling every day. You owe that to yourself to check in with you and say, hey, best friend, how was today? How are you doing today? You owe it to yourself to say, what are my goals for this year, for this month, for this week? To have a plan so that you can manifest and that you can make sure that your energy is going in the right places. You owe all this to yourself, but I'm telling you, until you commit to yourself and say, I'm going to invest in myself first and then everyone else later, it's hard. It's rare that it's just going to come to you. It is rare.
So before we like log off, I just want to kind of pull things back to the whole workplace, right? Because we talked about a lot of things that are very personal in nature. And I think that if we attack some of those things like exercising, eating well, and taking care of our mental health, that will have like an offshoot of being more productive at work, et cetera. But typically companies, I shouldn't say typically, in some companies and in my experience, companies will have resources for you. So we initially talked about creating a plan around going to conferences and investing in yourself in a very tangible way, like a training. So like Cynthia mentioned, you should ask for those things. If that is something available to you, you'll be able to get that paid for. We at work, you typically also have professional networks that people at your company may be a part of, and you can tap into those things to then expand your own circle. When it comes to things like meditation, I put in the chat calm.com, headspace.com, chopra.com, like at a couple of firms that I've worked for, they've had free subscriptions to those things because it is important for you to have, a healthy mental space, especially through our lockdown. So you should check in with your HR, your benefits department to see if any of those can be available to you via your company. My current company supports our fitness subscription. So my Peloton subscription is paid for by my current firm. So that's something that you might want to look into. Typically, you'll have gym memberships that are either covered completely or partially covered. So if there's a financial barrier, try to get over that, with going through your company. If there is no financial barrier, take advantage of the benefit. What else? Then EAP, which I feel like we talk about a lot. Those are resources that are typically available to all employees, and it covers a whole host of things like investing in yourself. You may not know much about finances, like looking into things like that, looking into legal counsel, therapist, all of these things, like your EAP has that available. We talked about organizing, we talked about clearing our space, and on your EAP, it's pretty much a resource to help you take care of everything that's outside of work, help you to balance your life. So time management, organization, all of those types of things. You can find articles, you can find therapists, you can find professional resources to help you get in line. Parenting tips, those are all included in your EAP. So if you don't know what that is, look for like the username and password through your HR team.
I love that. It reminds me of when I went to college too. There's a whole land of resources, but it's up to you to take advantage of it. And it is really an investment in yourself, right? These are resources that you can tap into, utilize, and it nourishes you one way or another, right? I would also say, just bringing it back to the workplace, coming to your weekly check-ins prepared. We've already talked about this in previous chats, but that's an investment in yourself and in your career. Asking for mentoring, that's an investment in yourself and your career. Also pitching new ideas or doing more than what is expected in your job. It's always, or making strategic alliances or networking outside of your department or group. That's also investing in yourself, right? Becoming well-known, or that person that, at least knows somebody in one department and another. All that is good investment in yourself.
Nope. So I'm with you. And I know we're strapped for time. So I just want to say thank you for opening up this platform again this month. I really appreciate being on with you. I'm hoping that you guys share some of your ideas around investing in yourself. What does that mean to you? Which websites, which apps, which companies do you use? And I'll do the same. I'll share some resources that I use myself so that we can all continue to just spread the information.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for saying that. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you here. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I think you're amazing. Mom, tell us what you think. Say it in the comments. Let us know. Share resources like Tangela said. Such a great point. If you like this, like the video, share it with a friend. Let us know what topics you would like to hear from us in the future. Also, you could DM us with any of your private issues. We've taken those before too as well. And given our advice, we know it's tough and sometimes you don't want to broadcast it out to the world, but you can always send us a private message and we will get back to you. So thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. We will talk to you next month in March. I have no idea what the topic is. It's on the agenda. Just look to there. But thanks, Tangela. You have a wonderful evening. I love you.
Same to you. Love you too. Bye-bye. Bye.